Hey, soccer fans, Sons of a Pitch fans, as well as our strategic investors. Welcome back to Betting Picks and Predictions with Sons of a Pitch, Soccer Central. I'm your host, Nick, and we're going to go through all the MLS games this upcoming weekend, July 23rd and 24th, give you all of my picks, my takes, and let you know how you can make a few dollars betting these Major League Soccer games. We're going to get right into it after a little bit of a general advice that I need to impart on everyone here. Now, if you've been following the league, we're coming out of rivalry weeks. We are coming out of congested schedules, 3 games in 10 days type of things. So some squads may still be rotating. Some squads may still be dealing with players that normally start out for injury or rest. But you can still find some value on the road teams here. So make sure you're looking at the odds that are presented wherever you're betting. We're going to look at DraftKings tonight specifically. Now, there's one other thing you need to consider when you are betting games this weekend: domestic cup tournaments. US Open Cup is back on July 27th with the semifinals, and that involves MLS teams Sporting Kansas City, Orlando City, and the New York Red Bulls. And then you've got the Canadian Championship final on July 26th with Vancouver and Toronto. So those teams may want to place a lot more emphasis on winning a trophy in that tournament than winning a game or two at this point in the MLS season. You have Sporting Kansas City, who's essentially out of the playoff picture in the regular season, and you've got Orlando and Red Bull, who have pretty much secured their places as playoff teams. Orlando might have a little bit more work to do, but Red Bull has been in the top 3 or 4 of the Eastern Conference all season. So they're probably going to focus a little more on that tournament. Toronto, this might be their only chance to win a trophy within the next couple years, depending on how they build out their squad. So look for them and Vancouver to go all in on those championship games. Along with those specific tips this week, remember our general tips. Check injury reports and starting lineups. Many gambling websites will have injury updates for you. Make sure you check those out before placing your bets. Also, don't bet with your heart. It's hard for me to ever bet on Chicago, my home team, mostly because they've been so up and down this season, but mostly because I want to see them do well. I think they're going to do well because that's what I want, and I end up picking them the wrong way. Also, set your limits. Know how much you've got to spend, know how much you're going to lose before you call it quits. Again, for me, betting is entertainment. It's that extra little bit of action that gets you excited for your game. So don't use it as income. Don't use it as the main reason you're watching soccer to bet on it. Use it as entertainment. That's how I think of it. Anyway, that being said, let's get into the picks for the week. Now we're running it down here on the DraftKings website. In the first match this Saturday, July 23rd, New York City, the favorite, hosting Inter Miami. And I'm going to stick with that pick. I'm going to go with New York City on that one. It could be Tati Castellanos' final game before being sold to Girona or transferred to Girona in Spain's La Liga. He had what might have been his final game against Red Bulls last week and got the goal to give them the win, to keep New York blue. And so I think he's going to have a great game. I think the rest of the team is going to want to send him off in good fashion. Next up, FC Cincinnati playing host to Nashville. Now, Nashville's been struggling as of late. They haven't been getting the results they've wanted. This has been like the first and second time that Hani Mukhtar has scored, and they've lost a game, I think, in their brief MLS history. So they're not scoring as much. They're not getting the results they want. Meanwhile, they have to go to Cincinnati, a team who also isn't winning as much as they've been accustomed to the first half of the season. I think Cincinnati gets back on track in the win column. I'll take them at plus 135. Next matchup, we have Orlando City hosting the Philadelphia Union. As I mentioned before, Orlando City might be looking ahead to that US Open Cup semifinal. And, they just haven't been able to find their offense. They recently signed USMNT international Nicolas Joachini from Cannes in France, but I don't know if he's going to be rotated into the squad, if he's going to be match fit, or what he's going to do. Again, I think they are going to be focused on the US Open Cup, and Philadelphia Union, best team in the Eastern Conference, I believe, at this point in the standings, coming off a couple of big results for them. I'm going to take Union on the road, and there's some value there at plus 185. Next matchup, Toronto FC hosting Charlotte FC. Toronto has been bad, and they're probably looking ahead to their Canadian Championship game against Vancouver. I'm going to pick Charlotte on the road on this one, plus 200. So I think you can make some money on this road team, even though they're not the favorite. That's especially a reason why you can make some money on it. Especially, they've been scoring goals, but they just have not been able to get consistent results. But I think this is the game where they can win it on the road, conference opponent. Next, we have the Columbus Crew hosting the New England Revolution. The Crew are at plus 115. New England is at plus 215 as we record this video Wednesday, July 20th in the evening. But the Crew have Cucho Hernandez, who scored 4 goals in 3 matches, and I think a total of 84 minutes of play. Lucas Zelarayan has assisted him on all 4 of those goals. New England also signed a new striker recently, but I just don't think that anyone can stop Columbus right now, given their run of form and being at home. So I'm taking the Crew. Next matchup, DC United hosting Montreal Impact. I said Toronto was bad. DC is bad. Now, they've got Wayne Rooney coming in, so they might get a little bit of a new coach bump. They have Taxi Fountas, who is scoring goals for them at a good clip. But as a team, I just don't think they're able to, even at home, win against a top of the Eastern Conference team in Montreal. Montreal has been a top 5 team all season, despite losing potential MVP candidate Jordy Mihailovic, who came back last match for about a half hour. I think Montreal is going to take this game. But if you like the prop bets, if you like scoring bets, definitely throw a few bucks down on Taxi Fountas to score for DC United. Next matchup, going to the Western Conference, Sporting Kansas City is hosting LAFC. Put the money on LAFC. I know it's only plus 125. Put the money on LAFC. They're going to get Bale, Chiellini, Vela all on the field at the same time, most likely in this match. Sporting Kansas City is going to be focused on the Open Cup, the only place they can get a trophy because they're probably not making the playoffs. So even though they're the home team and the favorite at plus 200, even though they're the home team, LAFC is the road favorite at plus 125. Go with LAFC. Next matchup, Houston Dynamo are hosting Minnesota United. Minnesota United has been on a roll lately. I think they've won 3 of their last 5 games. They've moved up to 4th place in the Western Conference. Of those last 5, 3 wins, a draw, and a loss. And I'm going to take them at plus 200 on the road against a Houston team who has improved under Hector Herrera. So maybe the smart money is on the draw, even though that is plus 235. But I'm going to take Minnesota on this one. Next up, Real Salt Lake hosting FC Dallas. I don't know what kind of team we're going to get with Real Salt Lake. They have been outperforming expectations considering they have 1, if not 0, designated players on their roster. I'll have to go double check that. They've had some poor form lately, but Dallas similarly has not been able to really find the back of the net at the pace they did at the beginning of the season. So I am going to take Dallas to draw at Real Salt Lake at plus 240. Seattle Sounders are hosting the Colorado Rapids in the next match. Sounders are at plus 100. They are home. Sounders have lost 3 games in a row. They have not scored a goal in those 3 games. They have had Raul Ruidiaz out, one of their star strikers. As we all know, at the beginning of the season with the CCL Championship, their star midfielder, Jall Paulo, tore his ACL. So they've been struggling to fill the midfield, and as a lot of fans have been saying, to fill a Jall Paulo-sized hole in that midfield. But they are at home. It is Seattle. I don't think they've ever lost 4 in a row in their history. That's just speculation based on how good they've been over the last decade plus. So I'm going to pick Seattle at home to win this game against the Colorado Rapids, who are kind of struggling to figure out how their pieces fit together after trading Marc-Anthony Kaye to Toronto. Next matchup, Vancouver Whitecaps are hosting the Chicago Fire. Now, Vancouver, again, is looking towards that U.S. Open Cup game. Chicago Fire, however, have been an enigma of a team this season. They start off the year without conceding a goal in 5 games. Then they don't win a game in 10 or 11 matches. But as of late, they have won, I think, 3 of their last 4 games. except they've got to travel on the road now. I don't know how healthy their lineup's going to be. Seeing them travel from Chicago to Vancouver after playing 3 straight games at home, I believe I just don't see them finding the back of the net a lot in this game. I'm going to pick a draw at plus 230. The Portland Timbers are hosting the San Jose Earthquakes, and the Timbers are the favorites at minus 140. If you're high on the San Jose Earthquakes, if you think they're going to come in and surprise, take that plus 300. However, the draw is plus 310. So when you see the away team and the draw getting about the same odds, that kind of makes me scratch my head and kind of shy away from betting on this pick. But if I had to take it, I'm going to take Portland at home. They're getting healthier. They're getting a rhythm. They had a big win against rival Seattle not too long ago, and then a late night draw at home against Vancouver. So I think Portland is poised to start making a push into the playoff picture. I'll take them even though they're heavy favorites here. Next game, Austin FC is hosting New York Red Bulls. Now, I've said of the Red Bulls the last 2 games where they faced high-powered offenses in Cincinnati and New York City that the Red Bulls' high press, counter press style of play is going to stymie those offenses. And I was right. And they ended up drawing Cincinnati. They ended up losing to New York City 1-0. So I'm going to say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to take the draw on this one. I don't think Austin is going to be scoring those 3-4 goals a game that they're capable of. But at the same time, I don't see the Red Bulls being able to find the back of the net themselves a lot. They're probably going to rotate a little bit because this is an away game. However, that high press is going to cause all sorts of chaos. I am not confident in this pick, but I am going to pick the draw. And the final game of the weekend, we have LA Galaxy hosting Atlanta United. Now, Atlanta as the road team is at plus 300, and the Galaxy as the home team are minus 135. The draw is at plus 280. I'm going to take the draw on this one. LA has not figured out their offense, but the fact that Atlanta has to go on the road cross country, and Atlanta themselves have been, over the last few weeks, I think outperforming their capabilities given all the injuries they have and all the players they've had to throw in different places. I am going to pick the draw on that one. So let's recap. Let me put my graphic up here and I can show you all of my picks and predictions for this week, July 23rd and 24th. I've got New York City over Miami, Cincinnati over Nashville, the Union over Orlando, Charlotte over Toronto, Columbus beating the Revolution, Montreal over DC, LAFC to defeat Sporting Kansas City, and Minnesota over Houston. I'm taking RSL and Dallas to draw, Seattle to beat Colorado, Vancouver and Chicago to draw, Portland over San Jose, and then Austin drawing New York Red Bulls and the Galaxy drawing Atlanta United. Now, also, as you can see here on my picks and predictions, that I had an okay week last week. I was 8-6 last week. I am now 25-30 since I took over prediction duties for Mike, as he's taking a bit of a family sabbatical here. But hopefully we can get him back to talk some betting and picks and predictions in the near future. So I moved up to 25-30. I think I'm doing okay, but really what's killed me the last 2-3 weeks is Chicago winning games out of nowhere and Seattle dropping games out of nowhere. So that has kind of thrown a few of my picks off. So there you have it, Sons of a Pitch fans, bettors, pickers, predictors, casual gamblers, strategic investors. You know, and it's funny, on the DraftKings website, it says a minimum bet of 10 cents. So you can be betting dimes on teams just to have a little excitement and action on some of these games. So with that being said, I'll throw my graphic up for a few more seconds. I wish you all the best of luck. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, share the link to all of your friends out there, help them make a few bucks too. Now, if you're losing money because of what I'm telling you, well, then share the link with people you don't like. Have them suffer along with you, right? Please give me your comments below, what teams you're picking, who you think your big plays are going to be, and if you got any upset picks, let us know what you think. We'll be sure to keep the conversation going in the comments. So, fans, again, Here are my picks, trying to get above 500 for the first time this season in, I think, my 4th week here doing the picks and predictions. And I want to thank you all for your support of the channel. Feel free to leave a super chat. Feel free to follow along on Twitter at SOP Soccer. Email us at sonsofapitchsoccer@gmail.com if you want to know, what we're up to, what we're thinking, how we're doing with our picks, predictions, gamblings, and wages. We're happy to talk with you outside of YouTube via email, via Twitter, direct message, wherever is easiest for you. Thanks again. We appreciate your support, and good luck to everybody.